Okay, I will talk about WP-CLI, which is the command line interface for WordPress. There is an official website, wp-cli.org. It's written in PHP like WordPress, and the only requirement you need to have is PHP 5.4 at least. Installation is rather easy. You just download the FAR file, which is a special PHP file where all the files of the project are enclosed in one file. Or you can just type this long curl string. So I will do that now. Oops. I just make here another directory. Oops. Paste it, just download it. And now we have installed WP-CLI. I can call it with PHP minus info. And now we see here, we have WP-CLI version 2.4.0. Typing all the time PHP WP-CLI file is a bit complicated, so I wrote a small batch file, which I have here, which sets some certification store, which WP-CLI uses, and I have here the call to the FAR file. So on my installation, it's now, it's good enough to just type WP, and then when you provide no command, you get a list of commands, and as you can see, there are a lot of commands and a lot of options. To get some help, you can type WP help and the command name like DB, and then you get the special help site page for this only command. There is also a website where they are listed all the commands. I will show it. With all the details. I'm not going into every command now because, as you can see, there are a lot of commands and you can do a lot of things with the command line interface. I will show you one example. I'm using the command line interface very much. It's updating a WordPress website. I have here one WordPress website which is stored on my local host. And as you can see, there are 10 updates ready. I've created a script for this, which calls WCLI update to update the CLI. If there are any updates, then WordPress core is updated, all the plugins are updated, all the themes are updated, all the languages, and at the end, the database gets updated. And if have a multi-site, also the network gets updated. I'm trying this now at the real site. I've not tried it before. So let's move into the directory. And now I call WP update, which is my script. So it downloads WordPress core, applies the update. Now we have some plugins running the updates. It goes rather quick. Displays also the list which updates were installed into plugins. Now the themes get updated. I think this is very handy when you have not worked on a WordPress site for quite a time. There are lots of updates. So I think we are nearly done. Okay, now we're done, and now we will see if everything is working again. Yeah, now the website is, there's one, okay, one update left. It seems it's just a translation. So that's the power of the CLI. And now I show you how to migrate. As David showed, he migrated a live website to a testing website. We'll do the same. These are real websites. I will do it on a real website. The one is AKM. This is the live version. And this is the testing version. As you can see, there are small differences. So after the upgrade, they should be the same. For that, I've also written a script, which I will explain first. So we have these URLs as live and testing. Sorry, the testing website is locked behind the password. We need to change the domain name from www to test AKM.at. Also, the path of the web space changes from site 01 to site 02. The license of the WP Bakery page builder plugin needs to be updated. First, here is a bash file because this is a Linux server. I use rsync to transfer the files. Then I use WP-CLI to change, to export the database, which is done here. Then I import the database in the testing website, which is referenced here with the path parameter. And then I use the search replace command of the CLI to replace the domain name in all tables. This is necessary because this is a multi-site. Then I replace the path of the files, and I replace the old license with the new license. This time not in all tables, only in WP options tables. And please note the star. This is a wildcard because we have here a multi-site website with have WP underline options and a WP underline 2 underline options table. When all is done, I remove the database file which was used in the export and import, and then I use change on to replace the permissions of the copied files. So let's try this for real. I'm going to the web server. So user local is in here. We have the site 0 update file, which I'm going to call now. Opens all the files. This takes a while because this website is rather big. And they made a lot of changes, obviously. There is a question from a viewer. Is it possible to use WP-CLI to run a command over a remote server? Or does it have to run on the same server where WordPress is installed? It has to run on the same server. So you need a shell access on the server where the WordPress website is running. If you have some kind of network access to this server, if it's a Windows server, for example, you can use NetUse and mount the device. Or if you have a Linux server, you can mount the device. Then you don't need to be on the same machine. So now I'm replacing all the changes in the database. Made a lot of replacements and we are done as it seems. So let's see if it's now broken or it's still working. Usually it's working. Ouch, it's not working. Why? I should have tried this before. Maybe it copied the config file, which is not what I wanted. So I just upload the config file again. No, this should do. There's only one config file for all. Okay, now I've successfully broken a website, but you get it, what it should have been doing. I will examine it afterwards. There's another question, but both websites have to be on the same server, the old version and the new one, or just the old version. I will show in another example how to move a website from one server to another server. I hope this answers this question now. I have here another website. It's called LSG2 on my local host, which I want to move to www.lsginterpreting.com. My dev site is this one, and the live site is this one. Here we have to change also the host name. We also change the email address, and we also change the path. I wrote the script which does all that. I will provide a PDF file with all the details via Martin, I guess. So as before, here I call the WP command file, which I wrote. It changes, uses a lot of search replace commands here. The path in Windows can either be with a slash or with a backslash. The path sometimes is case sensitive, so I have a lot of commands here. And in the first step, I make the changes in my local database. Here I change from HTTP to HTTPS. Then I set a new password for the administrator. Then I export the database to the DB SQL file. And then I have to undo all my changes, all my replacements, because the local site will not work with the remote configurations. And so we will try this. I'll go out of this one. Here I have the script, which exports the database and sets a new admin password. So I will say to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this makes all the replacements in the database, exports the database into the SQL file, and then undoes all the changes in the database so that the local version of the website is still running afterwards. These are some heavy operations because it has to unpack all the strings and repack them again in all the tables. So it's now, let's see if it's still working. Yep, still working. The next step would be upload your files. I usually use site copy if it's a FTP website, or FTP web space, or rsync if rsync is possible. Sometimes I use FileZilla. And the generated DB SQL file, which is here, I just use PHP MyAdmin to upload it. You have to do nothing else because it already added the drop table statements. So all the data gets deleted and is replaced with the stuff from the SQL file. The other way around is similar. When I want to migrate a live website to my dev website, web space, here again, I would export the database from the real website with some custom options to add the drop table commands. Then I download all the files. Initially, I download all files with FileZilla or just the uploads. And then I need a script again to import the database. So it's similar to the export script. Here I call the db import command for the downloaded db SQL file. And then I call, then I make the search replace commands again, where I replace, for example, the email address here with the local email address I'm using on my dev system. Also, the paths are replaced, and I set the password for the admin user to just admin, which is more convenient than to use the real password. So that's from my side, how I migrate my websites. I hope this was not fast enough. Sorry for the problem with the website. I have to dig into it and find out what was wrong. Usually it worked.